Topic, we're going to cover business growth, and although it applies to any business, this is more in direct sales or something where you're building a team and focusing on that leadership ability. So excellent stuff if you're in strict business and kind of implementing this even with your own employees. So some of the things we'll talk about, and I'll kind of bring in, hey, if it's an employee, you can do the same aspect. But specifically for anybody who's in direct sales or anything like this is phenomenal ways to just start, looking forward and getting that growth, because a lot of people, they get stuck and they get, and they plateau out on different things. So this is definitely to get you forward and moving past and having continual growth in any business that you pursue. Okay, so pretty much the stages in development, and like I said, in this regard, it's in direct sales, but it can be applied to anything. So there's always a just starting aspect. And when you're just getting your foot in the door, you haven't made any sales, you're interested in everything that's going on. If you're building your own business, it's, about getting ideas and what are you going to do, and, maybe working on a website. In direct sales, you're learning the product and becoming really a product of the product in that regards. Especially, anything that you're selling, be a product of the product. I'm doing that with one of the opportunities that I'm doing. I'm like, hey, I want to learn about the product so that way I can sell it better. So definitely don't go out there and just, find something, say on ClickBank, that's trending really well and just go start selling it. You should buy the product yourself, know it really well, and that way, one, it, builds your credibility. But in that regards, that's what you want to do in just starting. So get your feet wet, understand what it is that you're going to go out, and also develop that vision in the starting. And we're going to go into more details on these things. Your weekend warriors, that's kind of the people, or a part-time business. You're doing it, you're spending a few hours a week, you're starting to get some results. And then it goes through, and as you're ramping it up, it's a full-time business. And that way, you're putting it in, you're getting good results out of it. But with full-time, even that, there's definitely aspects that of getting stuck. And then the fourth thing is when you're a rock star and you just meet with continual growth. And that's the goal, is to get everybody to that rock star stage. And if you notice on here, you start out slowly, and as it takes up and builds that momentum, that's where definitely in a direct sales business and building your teams out, this is where you see this exponential growth, because it's no longer, all sitting on your shoulders. It's just going up exponentially because you have everyone that you're building down below you as well. So in the dark, just starting. So this is when you have zero sales, maybe a tiny bit of sales. You definitely want to develop a business plan, whether it is, a brick and mortar type business, online business, direct sales business. You need to have a plan of action, and you also need to get to a point where you have a vision. You have to have, where do you want your business to be in 5 years? If you have absolutely no clue, guess what? You'll end up not amounting to very much. You have to have something to shoot for at all time. You have a starting line, well, you also need to have a finish line. And in this case, you're not going to ever finish the race, but it's going to be, different markers, and you're going to keep meeting and exceeding goals along the way. So at the beginning, don't worry about it. You just need to develop that vision and know where it is that you're going and keep with it. Your weekend warriors. So this is part-time, or like they call a hobby. If it's a hobby, you're not making money. Part-time, hopefully you are making money. But definitely, getting a sense of the business. You're having a few sales coming in. You're starting to get it. And, at this stage, it's more about belief in yourself. Hey, I had this idea when I was just starting. But now, as I'm starting to see results, you're like, hey, this could actually work. And you're starting to put in a little more time and get a little more results. And, this is a great feeling that, whatever it is that you picked and you're working on, hey, this really could go far. Make sure that your vision that you set up at the beginning is still, consistent. Tweak it if needed. Nothing's ever set in stone. So use that, as the kind of the guiding course for this weekend warrior aspect. The part-time business, that's definitely where it all starts out is, there's all these growth stages. You can't go from zero to hero. You have to go through these steps. So this one's definitely a fun step when you're starting to manifest some results. You're full-time. This is good but bad. Your business is taking off. And, at this stage of the game, you've usually quit your other job. So this is your full-time aspect, and you're starting to earn some good income. But the reason why I put the Snoopy picture is it is a full-time job. And this is where, especially with my business owners, I want to emphasize this is still trading your time for dollars. You're working in your business full-time, and this is an aspect of you that you have to put into it, but it's still a job. This is not a business and a business owner type business if it's consuming all of your time. So, fantastic stage to get through, and you definitely want to use all of this, but just keep in mind it's still a job, and it's a full-time job at that. Now here's where the rock stars come in. They've put everything into place and they're always experiencing growth. And at this stage of the game, this is where the business owner aspect comes in. You've put all of these systems. If you're in direct sales, you have a good, base of leaders, and we're going to go into that in a little bit, but you have all these leaders rising up under you, and you're able to leverage your time a whole lot better and starting to, develop this business freedom and really experiencing all the fun stuff at the rock star stage. Okay, so for this one, let me move that for a second. So the idea is you're breaking the glass ceiling. And you don't even realize a lot of times that there is a glass ceiling, except there usually is. There's only, in my animal party business, there's only so many parties we thought we could do until we have to hire more staff, hire more animals, things like that. So there's always a limit that you're going to find yourself. There's only, so many people you can call during the day, or so many this. As long as, in that aspect, you're trading your time for dollars, there's only so much that you can get done. So let's break through all these glass ceilings at the different stages. The getting started, let's break through and get you to, the weekend warriors. From weekend warriors, how do you break through and hit those levels to get you into the full-time stage? And at full-time, how do you break through and get into the rock star? Okay. So to become a rock star, there's 3 steps that you have to go through. The first thing is you need to have one message, one vision, and then you have to consistently stick to that one message, and not only stick to that message, but you have to consistently be producing results. And then you always have to be working on your leadership skills, not only on your leadership, but supporting the rising leaders that you're going to find, in your business. So as you get to all those 3 things, then that's how you're going to get to rock star status. So with one message, this is the biggest thing, is you only want one set of instructions. So this definitely applies, in the direct sales aspect. Whatever that product is that you're selling, just be about that product. If it's an information product, a physical type of product, whatever it might be, keep with one message consistently. And how to do it, if there's a method or something that you're teaching, keep in mind with that and don't vary it. And this is the biggest thing where a lot of people, they're all over the place, or hey, well, I'm going to sell this one this week and this one the next week, or oh, you need this and all this stuff. You're never going to get to that experience of your business if you're all over the place. So come up with one message, one set of instructions. Don't vary it, only continually improve it. It doesn't have to be set in stone, but you don't want to go from, we're going to do, we're only going to wear blue shirts or something, and then all of a sudden next week, well, we're only going to wear red shirts, and then the following week, well, we're only going to be green. Keep with it. If you decided blue at the beginning, you're blue. So definitely just keep in regards with that. And then you can generally, start tweaking things slightly, but only if it's improving that initial message. And shiny object syndrome. I've definitely fallen susceptible to that. And so being aware of it is first the thing. So it's just whatever the new thing is. It could be a new opportunity that pops up. It could be a different strategy or technique. But in regards to those, you definitely don't want to. I love shiny objects. So you definitely don't want to be distracted with all this stuff, because not only if you're distracted, you're not going to be getting as good results in whatever it is that you're trying to work on and build up. The other thing too is, as a leader and doing that with your team, and all of a sudden, hey, check out this thing. Wait, no, check out this thing, and all of this stuff. They're going to be all over the place, which either means you're going to drive, they're going to follow you and be all over the place getting no results, or they're going to see how all over the place you are, and then they're going to drop away from you. So either way, be aware of shiny object syndrome, but don't fall into that trap. And what I like to do is I like to look and, okay, I'll look at an opportunity and see if it aligns with my vision. Can it be an asset, or is it going to lead me into a totally different direction? And that's kind of the stage that I'm at, is really looking and seeing, okay, not being opposed to new things, but how, does it support my initial message, my initial vision, or is it something that might be a great benefit, but if it's going to take me away from what I'm working on right now, I'm not going to get distracted by that. It might be fantastic and perfect, but it's going to go on the back burner until I get to a stage to be able to put into that and be ready to go off in, a different, aspect of things. But whatever my core message is, that's the only thing you're going to look at until you're to that rock star level of your business. Consistency. With this one, this is definitely the idea of McDonald's French fries. If I have a craving for McDonald's French fries, I already know how they taste. I expect it, and I go to McDonald's, and that is exactly what I want to have. The very few times that the potatoes might not be salted correctly, or they might not be as warm, or this, it just totally, I can't even go to McDonald's for a long time afterwards. It totally blows it out. So think about that. Whatever your favorite food is, or a favorite experience that you have, that you've had enough times that you absolutely love it, and that's what you have to do in your business. If you want those McDonald's French fries, you don't want them to vary that recipe at all. That's exactly what you come to expect when you go to McDonald's. So in that regards, when we go to your business, you need to be consistent with whatever it is that you have. So you have that one message and you back it up with consistent results. If you don't consistently do it, not only is it going to hurt your business, but it also hurts that message that you have with it. So consistency, it also is going to develop a belief. So if you see, oh, you know what? Well, this worked, and then you stop and you get distracted with shiny objects and stuff like that, and then you come back to it a month later, your belief level is going to be down. If you keep doing whatever it is that it's saying to do, and you're starting to get results, and all of it builds upon it, it's going to strengthen your belief, which also strengthens your business. Be consistent in all your actions, whatever it is. That's where, if it comes down to a certain method that you're using, be consistent on that. Tweak it slightly, but you always want to be consistently getting results in whatever it is that you're doing. And the other thing too is the more social proof and consistent social proof that you show. A lot of the ones they put on Facebook and things like that. Hey, here's a check for X amount, or here's this, or oh, I'm so happy because I got this result. So by having that, and a one-time check, whatever. But if you're showing check after check after check, or this, all these emails getting flooded on, congratulations, you got this, or all of these things, the more consistent you start publicizing those results, people are going to start to listen to you. And then what we call the sleepers, which are the people that they've been watching you, but they're not really taking actions. They're just kind of like, they're there and whatever. So at that point, not only will people start listening to what you say, but those sleepers are going to wake up and start, really paying attention, because they've been on the fence about you. But if they see that you're consistently there, you're consistently showing up and getting all those results, then they're going to be, paying attention, and that's going to start building up your team. And then the final component in this is leadership. And I really like this image because it's not about doing it yourself or anything. It's basically, the direction that you're going into, and other people will follow suit. You're not trying to, bring them and, wrangle them into your team and stuff. It's just, you're very clear about what your vision is, and you're not really worried about the aspect, and your target is not to build up a leadership. It's to be a leader by example, and people just automatically follow. And in that regards too, is great leaders start off as great followers. And this is, something that I've been working on too, is because, you have the entrepreneurial spirit, and you're like, oh, well, I know what I'm doing, or something like this. But the idea is also not to reinvent the wheel. You want to be able to have a sense of what it is that you're doing, and really know and follow the leaders in an organization, or mentors, entrepreneurs that you look up to. So find people and model after the people that are getting results in what you want to get results in. And that's, as you start doing that, and back to that arrow thing, as you just start and you become very clear on where it is that you're going, people will naturally just kind of follow suit and gravitate to you. So the goal of the leader is, first you need to get unstuck yourself. whatever blockage, and that's just definitely where the personal development can tap into. But you want to get unstuck in your business. And as you get unstuck yourself, then the goal is to start to get other people unstuck. But, even if you're flying in an airplane and they always tell you need to put your oxygen mask on first, even before you help your child or the people around you. If you don't know how to get unstuck in your business, how can you teach other people and help them get unstuck? We definitely learn by teaching, but at the same thing as if you've never, been there, you definitely need to get through all of those stages. And then the other goal of the leader is you need to keep people around for a while. If it's one thing to get them in, and then you have to go and I'm on a live thing. Sorry. I don't want to sound. And so keeping people around with those regards, if they're not getting value from what it is that you're doing, and you're not keeping them, then they're not going to be having breakthroughs and experience. So you have to, that goes back to the consistency in your vision, that you have to be keeping people, and they might be the sleepers and they might not be ready to go through, but if you're consistently having those results, people are going to stick around with you, and your goal is to keep them around long enough so they start to experience their own breakthroughs and become their own leaders within whatever it is that you're building. So your clear vision, this is a big part of being a leader. So it builds your credibility by only having one message. And you always, whatever your vision is, like I said, you don't want to deviate from it, but you can always be improving and building upon it. So you always want to have bigger and bigger and bigger visions as you hit your goals. If your only vision is, say, I want $5,000 a month, and you hit $5,000 a month and you're so happy, and that's the only vision that you ever hit, well, you're going to stay there. There's no reason that you'd ever get to, $10, $20, $30,000 a month or whatever it might be. If your goal is to hit 5,000 and you never revise it, you can hit it and then you'll stay there. So definitely keep building upon what your visions are. And income producing.
I'll just add to that one real quick.
Yeah, of course.
All right, looks like the audio's resetting back, working just fine. When it comes to your vision, right, if you're just getting started, muted. Definitely recommend setting realistic expectations while you're balancing thinking big, or you have those big, hairy, audacious goals. If you've never made $1 online, or this is your very first time, then setting a goal of $1 million might be a little bit way too outside of the box, or well within that's like far off on the horizon, right? Like that's like way down there. So the end goal, let's say you do want to clear $1 million in revenue, and that's the kind of money you want to make, which is completely, totally possible based on some of the entrepreneurs that we've shared here with you guys, and that we send you in our series. Break them down into smaller ones, right? Focus on getting your first $100, your first 1,000, your first 10,000. Break them off into smaller chunks. That way, your belief system isn't totally firing and working completely against you, right? It's like when you try something new, there's always going to be something in the back of your mind that's going to be telling you, are you sure we're supposed to be doing this? Is this okay? Is this going to work? And so to minimize that little voice in your head that is working against you, break the goals down into smaller bite-sized chunks that still excite you and can allow you to move forward, right? The important part there is, how do you know how small to break it down to? Small enough where it gets you excited and allow you to take action to move forward, right? Don't go completely way out left field in terms of the goal setting when it comes to big, hairy, audacious goals. Bigger visions, once you hit, awesome. And so it looks like we tackled those. Unmuted.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for jumping in. So that's perfect. Exactly what you say. If your belief system has to match it. So definitely start with a belief or a goal that gets you excited, but that you believe it, and then always start creating and expanding upon those. And then a great thing too is your income's going to go through a dramatic spike when you only have one message. If you're all over the place, that's exactly what you're going to find is all over the place. So definitely have that united message. So basically your job as a leader in business, whether it's, direct sales or you're just building up your own business, but you have to believe in the people and speak life and vision into them. If they're not excited, you're not going to be excited. So you definitely need to have that passion come through and always inspire them to come up with their next step and work on getting them through their goals and things like that. And then also, if you're not, producing results and moving up, the leaders that are under you are not going to be sticking around with you. And they're not going to be following what it is, that if you're practicing what you preach, you definitely need to be getting results in those things too. And in order, especially in direct sales, so what happens if you have leaders above and below you? Well, that's the great part, is that you're now a leader once you have leaders below you, because that means that somebody listened to you and is now making it. And that's just incredible right there. And then the great thing too is that other people, including other future leaders, will want to work with you and join you. So that's definitely where you want to have these leaders below you and be supporting them. And then that's how you go through that rock star status, because as other leaders are coming up and building their teams, they're working with their teams, and that's how you start to leverage that and build this as a great business and experience exponential growth. Because like I said, as long as it's, all of this is resting upon your shoulders, there's only so much that you can do and get results from. Okay, and then more in that with developing leaders. So you get leaders by being a leader, and be a leader, and then you grow leaders. So you have to be a leader yourself, and then the leaders are going to follow. And there can be people, that kind of join your team. Like I said, if it's direct sales and things like that, your future leaders, they need nurturing. They need to, you need to help them to get the results in their business and bring out those leadership skills and start putting them in opportunities to help giving, examples and things, and just start growing their skills. And then, if you're getting really great results, sure, you might actually get, a leader that was, in a previous business thing or things like that, and people that are already predisposed to that leadership stuff. But those are pretty rare. So you definitely have to, be working on building up your own leaders that are in there and just letting them grow and expand. And that's, things that we did before, is letting people have that creativity. And pretty much with that, it's
And
you. Uh-huh.
when it comes to developing leaders, right? Especially again, if you're just muted, as you go through your personal development, right? Personal development in your internet marketing business, personal development in terms of your mindset, personal development in terms of your goal setting. You first start out as a good follower, and then once you start to see consistent results, and these don't have to, you don't have to come out of the gate guns blazing and, hey, I'm a multimillionaire right away, and now you have to follow me because I'm the leader. You don't have to have the monetary type of success stories or claims to fame, right? What most people don't realize, especially when it comes to generating an online income, what people are looking for, especially if they're just getting started, is that authenticity, and that I am right alongside you, working in the trenches, making this thing work and happen. And you can already start to build a little community, a little following, and you're going to start off with something simple as accountability partners, a group of people that are implementing the strategies that you're talking about. You're documenting your journey to success using the internet, and building an internet based entrepreneur project or business, right? And the more you participate, the more you do these daily activities to move your internet business forward, that's what you're going to document and journal first, right? The results as to the revenue coming in, the affiliate commissions coming in, and growing a large organization or a team of marketers, that will follow once you put in the work on the front end, right? It's like building a fire. The heat comes from putting the logs together, right? Making sure they're dry. You set it on fire, you build it, make sure that you're adding wood to it constantly so it doesn't burn out. And once you get the fire started, then the heat's going to come. It's not the heat comes before you actually lay down the wood or you start putting stuff together, right? So it's a byproduct. It's inevitable. Once you follow the recipes, right, and you do it right, step by step, just follow along and implement. It's only a matter of time before you get to generate those type of marketing results or those particular revenue results. Now, if you're not seeing similar results, or if you get stuck somewhere, that's where you tap into these daily noon sessions or internet marketing support and training webinars that we have, so that we can take a look at what you're doing, evaluate, give you feedback, and make some course corrections along the way. Right? It's like when NASA launches a rocket ship into the moon, it's not a straight path trajectory right to the moon. They're making course corrections every minute, every step of the journey. They're constantly making course corrections so that they can hit that particular target. So that's different ways you can look at it. And focus on building yourself first. That's really the biggest thing there, is focus on making those personal improvements. And before you know it, you're going to start to build your momentum. People are going to start to gather around you or start to turn for you for feedback and advice, because you have the number one thing that people are seeking and are looking for out there. It's a track record, it's experience, it's authenticity in what you are doing, right? With the type of income results that would follow, depending on how big goal, how much of a goals you want to set. Some of you guys just want to make a few couple $100 every month, right? We have subscribers that are based in Southeast Asia, and so for $500 a month, you can live like a king out there. So cost of living does vary, right? Focus on the type of income goals you want to set. Before you hit those income goals, focus on your personal development and implementing the strategies that we talk about, and then the rest will follow. Go ahead, Lauren. Unmuted.
Yeah, great points. Thank you so much for jumping in there. Awesome. And then the other thing too is that, as you become a leader, you want to help people, and you definitely want to help everybody. It's like, at the conference that I went to this weekend, and, seeing all of these thousands of people, especially the ones on the social media, and it's like, oh my goodness, they're all lost. And the idea is, oh my goodness, I have, a skill set that can help all of these people get going. But the biggest thing is you can't help everyone. And it's not to say that you personally can't help them or my video can't help them, but basically you can't help them until they're ready to be helped. And you can only help people that are clear on your message. There's people, it's a learning curve. Like when I started out learning all this stuff, I was kind of all over the place because it's all new. And you just have to just let everybody go through their process and just kind of assimilate and just let them kind of be overwhelmed in a regards. And when they're ready to actually listen to you and be clear on what your message is, and really be ready to receive your help, that's when you can help people. So you want to expose everybody to what it is that you're doing, but instead of pursuing them and actively, okay, how can I help you? In all of those regards, just keep in mind, you really can't help somebody until they're ready to allow themselves to be helped by you. And they need to be able to know exactly what they want, just to say, oh yeah, I want to make money online or something like that. Or, I want to quit my job. That's a little more tangible, but you have to set those goals with them. And like Gil said, start out slow, oh, I want to make my first 100 or my first, and then my first, $100 day or my first $1,000 or whatever it might be, or even my first sale. You need to know where they want to go, but then help them and start from the very beginning to achieve those little goals that are what build up to that. And then pretty much to help your team. So once they're, within you and, they're ready to be helped and you're starting to have this team, the big thing is, and I like that image on there, is, and I know that there's a quote that says, you can't help somebody up a mountain and, without helping yourself up as well. So it's in that regard to teamwork, and it is a team. Even if you're the leader in your team, it's still, you're all getting up there together. We're not sitting at the top of the mountain looking down and shouting instructions to you. Like Gil said, we're in the trenches. We're actively doing these things and getting results and sharing our results. And it's basically, hey, we're climbing this mountain. If you'd like to come along with us, we're happy to reach a hand back and help you up. And then those, there's principles versus strategies. This is definitely a principle type thing, is that we're just teaching you good things that you need to learn in order to do that. The strategies, we do teach specific strategies, but the strategies, those change continually, but it's pretty much that you have to figure out which strategy or strategies that you like the best to get what it is that you have to do to get the job done. And then everyone's always looking for the secret easy strategy. And that's where, a lot of people, they want to, follow a leader that's teaching a strategy. But once the strategy changes, and, they might even have such a secret strategy, they're not teaching you the entire strategy. They might teach you great stuff and you'll get some results, but they're only giving you 80% of the strategy, and you're never going to, maybe hit rock star, status with one strategy. So master those principles and help your team out and to master principles and give strategies, but don't focus on the strategy. Master, the basics or those principles, And once you have a really great foundation, then that's where you can look at the different strategies, or even let those shiny objects come in and, hey, would that be a good strategy that will help me to, expand upon those principles that I've mastered. So that's
Yeah,
definitely that
somebody here
aspect. Uh-huh.
typing in, and if I'm just getting started, do I?
Gil, your audio cut out again. I'm not sure if it's a delay or
Muted. No, this time I put myself on a hard by accident. But good thing you noticed that. So somebody is asking, right? Do I focus on, with internet marketing, there are ways that you can build a large team, affiliates, internet marketers, sales team. So, for example, if you are the type of person or entrepreneur that creates your own products or courses, right? Some of you that are on the session here today are marketers in the health and fitness niche, and you have programs that you promote. For example, the P90X series, they just came out with P90X3, and Beachbody has its own affiliate program, right? Where you can become a trainer, you can resell their products and services and generate a commission from doing that. And so some affiliate programs allow you to build a large sales force and a large team. Now, if you're just getting started online, document your journey and how you're getting started. Focus on getting to where you need to be first, as opposed to trying to build a large team or sales team, because, what are you going to teach, right? First and foremost, that's one. Number two, what type of training can you pass on? The first thing they're going to look for is some sort of track record, proof of concept, or something to reassure them that you've generated and are making a part-time or full-time income online, so that they're following the right people and they can decide for themselves, you know what, I'd like to work with this person. I like their style, I like their approach, and they've made some money online. And so in our training programs, we don't really even recommend for you to, once you start training other people, at least make a little over 20,000 in 1 month, right? And so that way, because to get to that type of income on a monthly basis, there's certain activities, experiences that we have all gone through and experienced. And so that's like a qualifier right there. It's not an exact science, it's just like a general guideline, right? But that's what you should be aiming for, okay? And we see a lot of people that get started online and want to focus on the whole team building aspect, but they don't have a strong foundation, right? Um, they uh, they don't have the basics covered. They can't answer questions, or they're not able to provide the type of support that they want. Now, by tapping into our network, getting started with Lauren, with Steve, or myself here on the internet, you don't have to worry about a lot of those things. We provide the live support. I provide the track record in terms of what we've made just in the form of a rinky-dink website, right? And in affiliate marketing. And so you can do both and not overwhelm yourselves. That's the biggest thing. So that's another added benefit to do business with Lauren, to sign up for her group coaching program, is because there is this back end community and support that your team can access. So the pressure is no longer on you 100%. You now have other professionals, other advisors, other marketers who can fill in the gaps in your track record and your daily support and training, and be able to keep moving forward and grow a team at the same time, right? So hopefully unmuted on there, and
yeah, that's perfect, Gil.
Awesome. Okay, I'll just mute myself so we don't get.
Okay, perfect. Okay, fantastic. Okay, and then this one is leadership accessibility. So with those regards, as you're finding, this leadership thing, you really have to protect your time. In this regards, a lot of direct sales, they tell you to go out there and, you need to be on the phones. You need to be hitting those phones. You need to be, doing face-to-face appointments and things like that. And that's where, that we've found we're able to leverage our time a whole lot better by, one, utilizing the internet, and then videos as well. That way, like this presentation that we're doing it live, it'll be recorded, an awesome video that'll teach people how to do it, and they can learn all this stuff, and you're not having to sit down and re-explain it and get on the phone and do all of that. So this is a fantastic way that video marketing especially can help to protect and utilize your time. And then in regards to rules that you want people to work with you is pretty much, you can understand and you definitely want to get a relationship with people, but you have to be aware of babysitting versus, actual questions and things like that. So be aware of, people that you're working with, and you want to work with people that are getting results. That's where, like in my coaching, I had somebody approach me and, hey, I really want to join your coaching. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Have you been on my website? No. Okay. Have you done anything? No. Oh, okay, that's fine. And I'm happy to work with them, but that's why my website exists, that somebody can go on there, go through some videos, get some of the basics down, and I don't have to spend my time trying to, tell everybody how to get started or something in that. They can go, they can see these training videos, and then yes, I'm 100% happy to answer any questions, but it's like they need to see what it is that I'm talking about, and then I'll answer a question instead of just sitting there and having, an hour-long conversation to catch them up to speed on stuff that I've already taught. So that's where, in this case with that person, I said, hey, watch the videos first, get a sense of things, and then I'm happy to work with you. And the funny thing is, yeah, that person I'll work with and I see them a lot of times, but they still haven't even gone through my training videos. So in that regard, I'm really glad that I didn't get on this phone and spend a couple hours catching them up to things, because if they're not ready, if they're not in a position to be able to learn some things and put in the time commitment to even watch a video, then I know that jumping on the phone with them and even giving them some fantastic pointers, they're probably not ready to go out and utilize those at that stage yet. So be aware and really be, accessible for the people that are ready to jump on board and just dive in. But that's where you kind of have to set some rules and restrictions so that way you just don't feel overwhelmed because you're talking to everybody all the time and they're all over the place. And then just keep in mind, when your time is scarce, you're becoming more of a leader. So you definitely just, put that protection in there. And, that's why we also have these daily noon webinars. We're always available for anybody to just jump on and answer questions. And this is a great stage. So it maximizes our time and it still provides a fantastic resource for people, that need our questions or sort of need our answers and have questions and all of that.
Yeah, I'll just add to that real quick. Somebody here's typing in, is it possible? Awesome. Thank you for the mute. That helps. Somebody's asking, is it possible to build out an internet marketing business or income and not have to talk to anybody or at least do a lot of face-to-face meetings? And the answer is yes, absolutely. You don't have to get on a single webinar. You don't have to you make a single phone call. None of that stuff. It depends on what type of internet marketing business model you're looking to set up. Lauren talks about having a complementary business model that works with your schedule, right? So if you are the type of person that can carve out several hours in the day, then you have a lot more at your disposal and a lot of time you can put in to building your business. If you're extremely limited on your time and your marketing budget, then there are other options available for you as well, right? There's different ways to go ahead and set that up. But to answer your question, you don't have to pick up the phone. You don't have to do a live webinar. At the very least, we encourage people to participate in the webinars. That way, it can be really tough as an internet entrepreneur and or even working from home. You almost feel like you're by yourself majority of the times, and you can get a little bit lonely, right? And so we like to have that component where you can at least see us, interact with us, you get that live support. When I first got started online, I was buying programs, courses, trainings from people in Hong Kong, in Europe, and in all sorts of exotic, halfway around the world locations. And I wasn't sure if they were quality, if they were good. I didn't know what to look out for. I got sold on the video. And now that I'm a little bit wiser, smarter, and I've gone through my own personal challenges and hurdles, right? The first thing I look for is support. That's really the biggest thing, right? Because when I buy a product or a course, I know I'm going to have challenges and questions. And it helps to have somebody on there like Lauren, Steve, or myself that can answer a lot of those questions and have a smooth transition, right? For those of you that drive, chances are when you first got behind the wheel, you had somebody with you showing you how to drive that vehicle for the very first time, how to start the engine, where to place your foot pedals, right? Can you figure out how to drive on your own? Sure, absolutely. Is there a likelihood you'll end up driving off the cliff or on the wrong side of the freeway? That's possible too. But to have somebody with you, again, you minimize the risks, you get off to a smoother start, and it's just a better journey along the way, right? A lot of the things that we do, you don't have to start off on alone or rack your brains in order to move forward. There are challenges that's going to come your way. And again, as always, when it comes to any incomes that we talk about, the results are not typical. I don't consider myself typical, neither should you. And if you don't do anything at the end of the day, how can you expect money to come in or your business to grow? And that applies to anything in life, right? So hopefully that answered your question. It depends on the type of model you want to get into. In our component, we set up these daily sessions so that we love to interact and talk to people, both face-to-face and in the form of webinars and online trainings. So that's Lauren's strength, right? That's the type of support she provides to her group, while there's other marketing teams around her that would do other parts of the business or do fulfill some of those weaknesses or activities that she doesn't want to do, for example, right? So awesome, really good questions. And thank you for the feedback, Maria. Definitely do appreciate that. Lauren, go ahead, take it away.
Awesome. Okay.
You good on time? We'll be able to end in about 9-10 minutes.
Yeah, I think I just have like maybe 1 or 2 more slides left, so we're good. Perfect. So pretty much those are a great foundation. And here's the thing is then this is to get through the breakthrough aspects. So I like this fact that it especially labels it fantasy of success. So you think that, okay, I'm going up. But in reality, yes, you're going to have bumps and bruises and all of that along the way. So the question is how do you get past these plateaus where you're having great results, you're still getting results, but they're just not continually going up. And so that's pretty much what we're going to be addressing right now is these plateaus. And yes, you're having growth, and each of those plateaus is pretty much that glass ceiling from the beginning that you're going through it. So, at the beginning stage and getting started, you're going to, you're getting a little bit of stuff, and then you're going to plateau, before you get into that, weekend warrior status. With weekend warriors, yes, you're going up, and then you might hit this plateau where suddenly you're not able to quite get to full-time status, but you're still, you're doing well at your weekend warrior aspect. So how do you go through and get these things? So the biggest thing is why you're getting stuck. And usually, if you really look into it, you met a goal. If that's where, if your goal was to get your first $100 online at the beginning and you got your $100 and you're just gloating and awesome, and then you might hit that plateau. Well, how do you get your next $100? Or even more is how do you, okay, well, how do I get, $100 a week or whatever that is? So you need to always be moving past and reaching those goals. If you can't reach a goal, then most likely your believability is not there. So you have to believe in a goal that you can achieve it in order to achieve it. So make sure that if you believe it, awesome. So if you're not able to get things, you really need to look at is your new goal getting you to break past that plateau? So if you're reaching, you're stagnating, reset and go bigger. And in those things. So pretty much in order to get unstuck is you need to have results consistently for about 90 days. And at that point, if you're consistently growing for about that 90 days, that's what you need to sustain income. Having, a 30 days or 60 days or something like that, that's awesome. But chances are it can be non-sustainable, whether it's in business, direct sales, anything like that. So really work on getting to that 90-day thing. So make sure that you're repeating it in both your message and you're actually going out and getting that results. And be aware of shiny objects. You don't want shiny objects that will take away from your vision. Like I said, the shiny object might be a strategy that aligns perfectly with your vision. Well, then calculate it. Be aware if it's something new and make sure before you spend time on it that it will help you and align with that goal and, be in an aspect of getting unstuck, or is it going to be something that distracts you and takes away? And if it's distracting you and going in a different direction, you're not going to be getting unstuck. And then just be aware as if your message and stuff is all over the place, after you hit that 90 days and you might be consistently getting results, but if you're all over the place, it's going to level off. You have to keep consistent on that one vision in order to make it sustainable. And yep, last slide. So pretty much just to kind of all sum it up with that, keep dreaming bigger and setting new goals and keeping yourself from getting unstuck. Make sure that you keep your same message, and that way you'll be consistently producing results.
Excellent, excellent. So thanks for that. As always, content muted session. And these sessions we like to dedicate and cater to you guys, right? So the more questions you have, the more campaigns you submit for review, the better we can help you out. We want to make it specific for your business. Some of the entrepreneurs and those of you that log on to these sessions, it's business as usual, right? You got stuff going on. You're just in here for today's training. Fantastic. But if you have any questions or if you want to get started and you're looking for a smart and practical way to get started online with some real people doing some cool stuff, let's have a conversation. I mean, those are free. There'll be contact information around here so that you can call myself, you can reach Lauren, you can reach Steve as well. And if you guys can go ahead and type in the chat line, Steve and Lauren, the best ways to get a hold of you. That way we can send that out to everybody that's on today's session. If you wanted to follow up and say, hey, you know what, I saw the session and I've been trying to find a way to make money here online or get started online, and I was wondering what my options are. So, let's talk and let's figure something out, right? And that way you get started on the right step and you avoid any, pitfalls and challenges that we, had already gone through or experienced ourselves. So once that's in the chat box, do let me know. In Facebook. Okay, awesome. So Lauren typed in her Facebook link. You can always get a hold of her that way. And if Mr. Steve Clutch can type in, check the questions portion, guys, so that you get access to Lauren's Facebook link. You can hit her up on Facebook. Please, 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 if you're going to contact us on Facebook, add us as a contact first so that the message that you are sending gets delivered into our inbox, okay? Because if you don't, if we're not immediate contacts on Facebook, the message may end up in the spam folder, okay? So we check our messages daily. I review mine, and I know these guys check theirs daily. After all, they're internet entrepreneurs, very active on social media. And so we want to make sure that we get your actual messages, okay? And I do see some other people jumping in the room. Welcome, guys. You're catching the tail end of the session. Replays will be posted on the main website as well, so that way there's going to be details around this YouTube video or wherever you're watching and viewing it online. Okay. Okay, what else is popping up? Welcome again. Some new faces. No names were entered, I guess, when you guys registered. So I do see Procision on here. Welcome. Thank you for joining, checking out our content. I do see Coatrail Guide. Is that Coatrail? Is it like adventure stuff? We're real big on that. Love. We just went hiking last week. And awesome. Thank you for joining, checking our sessions out. We do gather, or we are available online Monday through Fridays, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. Some of you guys are waking up at ridiculous hours in the morning, wherever you're based, from around the world. Thank you. If you have any questions, contact us, right? I typed in Lauren's Facebook page if you want to get started online, or maybe you want to talk first and try to figure out what the best way for you to get started online would be. Do let us know, okay? Once again, on behalf of everyone that contributes to our sessions, my name is Gil. On the bottom is Lauren. Lauren, any other updates for unmuted group? Anything?
No, just on a personal thing. Just to keep in mind, I'm going out of town on Wednesday morning, so I will be gone Wednesday through like the weekend.
Awesome. Back in business on Monday, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Sweet. Okay. Muted. So yes, we do have live webinars. These are consistent Monday through Fridays. We do have live events and workshops as well. So if you guys want to fly into town, we can all hang out. Our next destination is going to be Orlando, Florida. Talk to Lauren, Steve, or myself if you want to get tickets for those, because we do get preferred pricing and you can get like a nice little discount on there as well. And otherwise, do check out our main sites. My name is Gil. Thank you for jumping on. We'll see you first thing tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.